Welcome to the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Honest advice, honest mistakes, honest people.
We're all figuring it out, just with better microphones.
The Gurus, where you can be yourself and screw up a line.
Where the mic's always hot and the advice is even hotter.
Real talk about what actually happens after you buy the mic.
It's the Voiceover Gurus podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Voiceover Gurus podcast. I'm Linda Bruno, topic-based for the year of 2026, and I'm sitting remotely, but actually you're right around the corner because you're in New Jersey, with Elena Hollander. Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, this is awesome. So we have a topic we're going to get to, but I think it would be good if you shared a little bit of your background. I see some really cool stuff in there, especially improv as well. So I'd love to hear your experiences with that. So tell us.
Sure. So I've been doing voice acting for about 8 years now, and my background is really in comedy. So a lot of improv. I've done Groundlings. I'm doing UCB now, and I love those wacky comedic commercials where you can just kind of go crazy. And I also do film and TV stuff. I'm a visual artist. So basically just art is flowing. Art's always flowing around, you know?
That's cool. How long have you been doing this for?
Acting my whole life, but voiceover I just got into because a woman in my improv group was like, your voice is so weird. Go get into voice acting. And I did. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is such a pure form of acting. It's just, it's delightful.
So what was your path? I mean, just to break down for me, your path to point A to point Z.
Yeah, my path is very zigzaggy. So I'll try and stay on one main course. So yeah, grew up acting. It was always my hobby, but then I did the thing where I had a career and went to the good schools. And then I had my daughter, and it was a pretty intense pregnancy. And afterwards I was like, okay, there's nothing I really want to do except for act and be with my kids.
Wow.
And that's how I know I've been doing it professionally for 8 years, because she is about to turn 8.
Oh my
goodness. And after that, I just sort of started taking classes and really getting serious about it and doing everything I could. And it's been quite the journey, but I've been really lucky to be doing some cool things with it.
Yeah. And that is, sometimes it does take another situation to, show you a path to a true passion, if that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, where you're kind of broken down, removes all the barriers, and you're just like, who am I really?
Right, yeah. And what's important? What's important? Because we get caught up in sometimes really minutia. It's just, BS minutia. So that's cool. Yeah. So our topic today is going to be about reigniting the spark in your career, which you and I both have experience in. And I would love to know your experiences with it and what you've done to maybe get yourself going again.
Yes. I love this topic so much because I feel like it's something we all deal with. We're going into our booth and we're shouting into the void and we're like, is anyone out there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, my secret sauce for myself has always been improv. And I try and allow as much space in each audition. I mean, subject matter appropriate for an improv little session in there. Uh-huh. So usually when I'm script analyzing, I'm like, okay, well, this could be funny. This could be funny. And then I go into the booth and I'm like, all right, Elena, just let her rip. Just go for it for a couple minutes and just get crazy in there.
Yeah.
And I feel like that keeps it fresh because I never know what I'm going to say.
Sure. That's like playtime, like solid playtime.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like to think of it as I'm throwing a little VO improv party for myself. And my goal is always to crack myself up because...
Now, let me ask you, do you leave these takes in your auditions or do you clean it out?
Yeah, I used to clean it up a little bit more. And then I was like, you know what? I think it's funny. I'm laughing at myself. And to be honest, that's how I've booked all of my major roles has been, I left it in to the point where I was handing it into my agent. And I was like, are they not going to submit this? Or are they going to call me and ask if I'm okay? Or if I've totally gone off the deep end? But those are the ones that have booked.
So let me ask you then, from a technical standpoint, how far away from the script do you veer?
So I'll give you an example. So oftentimes it's in the very beginning because I like to, for me personally, I like to just get myself sort of into it, but I think it also captures the listener a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I did an Albertsons campaign where I was a birthday cake, and the script was only a couple of lines, but she was supposed to be a bit of a diva. And so I started off the whole thing by singing a Marilyn Monroe happy birthday song.
Oh my God.
So just walking into the booth like, happy birthday to. And I did that for like a good couple of seconds before even starting the script. And
that's great.
Yeah. And then I think I even did a second take on that where I was like, let's go, Grandma. It's a birthday. Go get, just like really getting down with yourself.
Yeah. That's great. Because that's always the question, because we, you talk into the script, or I enjoy, with students, we go back and forth and I just say, I need you to just improvise through this whole thing to get a better understanding of the script. Because if you improvise and you're like, your brain is going, you're cooking, you know what's going on. But that's always the question is, how much of that do I leave, if any? Because will I get in trouble, or is it going to be a no-no? But you're saying that you've booked some of your biggest stuff that way.
Yeah, honestly, pretty much all of my biggest roles have been from that. And I will say, like, if it's a lot, then I usually do a straight take at the end. It's like, I can just read this for you if you want.
Okay. Now,
to let them know I'm capable,
So are the auditions mostly for character parts, or do you straight up stuff? I mean, the boring
No,
stuff.
sometimes, like if it's really boring, like if it's a pharma spot, I'm not going to do something crazy. Like there was a Pizza Hut one where it was a mom just enjoying an afternoon pizza by herself. And it was supposed to be a little on the sultry, risque side, like she's like alone with her pizza. So I guess in a way it's a character, but I just felt that like I'm a mom of 2 little kids. And I was like, I think I started the audition with something like, yes, like it's here. It's me. It's pizza o'clock. And then just launch right in,
You went from the sexy birthday cake into...
Yeah, exactly. Maybe there's a theme.
I know. That's great. That's really interesting because, like I said, we always have that question. It's so much fun to do the improv. I worked for many years for the American Comedy Network. And that was like a daily thing because they provided bits for radio stations across the country.
Huh?
And so every day I had no idea what I was going to be, but I was basically the lead female. And so like yesterday, they called on me, even though unfortunately the company has gotten rid of all of their actors. Yeah, and gone to like AI voices based on
I was
that.
hoping you would not say that, but
I know.
Yeah.
So he calls me on a, one-off thing, freelance thing, because apparently they can't find an AI voice that does a drunk Jill character that I created, so it's stuff like that, and it was so much fun. It was like the best part of my day because I'd be like, what am I going to be today? Some crazy stuff, but some stuff. He was like, oh my gosh, it sounds so good. And I'm like, I'm sure, because you're not getting that you're not working with human beings.
Right.
And to get that improv, aspect. I'm not professionally trained with it. I only do it with work, but what a joy. What a joy. I do miss it.
Yeah. And I feel like, we spend the majority of our time auditioning. Like when you book, it's fabulous, but for the most part, you're auditioning. And so it's like, well, how do I keep this fun for myself? And sometimes I also think I'm like, well, even if I don't book the job, maybe I made a casting director laugh. And like, that's also really nice to know.
Well, and then they remember you.
Yeah. One can hope.
Yeah, exactly. And then say, this is a great part that you would be good for. And that's always because you're impressing people.
Yeah. And I think it's routine for them also to listen to thousands of auditions that are the same. So I'm sure that it's a little
breaks it up a little
moment.
bit.
Yeah.
So have you hit the wall at some point where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so bored, I got to do something else?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm here to talk about that.
Like every couple of weeks. Yeah.
Where you question your life choices? Tell me about that.
Where you question everything about and you have an existential crisis. Yeah,
right,
totally.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's a Monday. Yeah, I feel like in a way, when I read your question, it's like what happens when VO becomes routine? I was like, I think we have to take a step back and congratulate ourselves that VO even has become routine. Like that we've gotten to this point in our life where it's like, I'm doing this every day. I have my fully professional things set up. I have things from my agent coming in. where it's like, good for you, because that took a lot of work and a lot of years to be saying, I do this every day, right? Whether I want to or not. I think one thing that has really helped me, especially, well, two things, two different strategies in recent years. One is I started throwing myself like a literal tiny party, like a 1 or 2 minute party before going in the booth if I'm having like an off day. So I have a VO pump up playlist. I will put it on and I would just go crazy, like dancing outside my booth. Sometimes I'll do a cartwheel, like I'll get grooved up. And then I feel like it's that old theater trick of physical movement creating the emotion that you want to have. And so even if I'm not really feeling it, as soon as that party's over, I'm like, okay, like Mama's ready to go have a good time.
That's a really cool trick. So you have a playlist that you actually put together?
I have a whole playlist, and a lot. Sometimes I'll change it depending on if I know that there's a certain character I want to hit. I'll sometimes use a different one, but I have my tried and true songs where I'm just like, let's rock out for just like 2 minutes maximum.
Yeah.
Not
so can you share the songs? Can you share some of the songs?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I love the soundtrack of Booksmart. Have you seen that movie?
No.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so funny.
Smart. I gotta write this down.
Yeah. The playlist is like really like, I am such a like bad, I don't know if we can curse on here.
You can do what you want.
Yeah, like I'm a bad mama. Like I got this. Like I'm rapping in my car, and so that really gets my energy up. And the other one is the Legally Blonde playlist.
Yeah, I could imagine that.
Yeah, and it's just fun and silly and just meant to have a good day.
The movie? I mean, the movie. It was a movie.
Yes.
And it was a Broadway show. So is it the movie soundtrack or the Broadway cast?
It depends on the day.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I love, oh my God, you guys, I love Perfect Day by Hoku, like all of it. And just something where it like gets your energy kind of flowing.
It helps the mood shift too,
Yes.
It's a mood shift.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do that.
It's so fun. And again, like you win because at the end you had fun, even if you don't get the job. So
yeah,
that's a win,
You're approaching it the right way.
Fun. I mean, that's why we started it.
I know. I'm like, if you're not having fun, what's the point of doing this?
Yes. Yeah. You got to remind yourself. I even have a physical sign above my booth saying, enjoy. Just that little reminder of like, remember, you like this. This is fun.
Yeah. I know if I go through slow periods with voice acting, I wind up, sometimes I'll get to the point where I'll be like, I need to remind myself of the stuff that I've booked. Let me go back and listen to some stuff because my brain is like, you stink, you're not getting anything. Or I'll say, I don't know if my phone is working. Can you please text me? Let me know. Is the system, because you start to question everything and go into, the slump.
Yes.
And to try and shift out of it. So that's a good trick. What else do you do?
Yeah, I like that trick too. So I do a lot of visual art also. So I create like paintings or collage or sculpture or whatever.
Nice.
And yeah, it's really fun. And I feel like it's also been super helpful for VO because I create something tangible and beautiful that kind of got the creative juices flowing. And that way, and because I feel like before I really threw myself into that, this was my creative outlet and it was kind of solely my creative outlet. And I'd go in and be like, okay, well, this is what you do. This is what you're good at. And let's see if you can book today. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's such a bad...
I know, but it's what we all go through.
Yeah. But it's like, this is not the joyful creativity I want to enter with. And so I feel like if I, even just spending like 10 minutes on working on a painting or working on a collage or whatever, then I go into the booth and I'm like, I've already created something really beautiful today that I'm super proud of.
Wow.
I already booked. I booked it for myself.
Right.
And now I can go in and I've already started that creative process with something visual. And now I can do it like through the body.
Do you ever bring the item into the booth with you?
They are all around my booth. I wish right now I'm in my room because I get terrible reception up there. But they're all around me. I could take a picture and send you later.
Yeah. You should because I'd love to post it because that is a wonderful way to inspire as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like you are a creative, beautiful person. You've already made something beautiful today. You won already. So just go in and have fun, you know?
I would imagine too, for children, you have kids. That's another reminder too of doing something bigger than anything ever and realizing, okay, let's put things in perspective here as to why am I getting so upset? And it's not the end of the world that I didn't get that job. And my health is great, my family, you know, to try and focus on those things, which I guess you should be doing anyway. But, you know, like you said, we get so much, that's not rejection, but it's rejection in the form of silence.
Right. There's just nothing happening. It's like a great void.
Or you get that. You're like, why didn't I get it? Who did they pick? Why did they pick them? And why didn't I get it? And the agent's like, because I'm sure they hear so many actors saying the same thing and asking questions.
Yes.
And instead, it's like, no, let it go. The person didn't pick you. They didn't like you. Enough for that spot. That's why I rephrase it. They didn't like me for that. It wasn't because I did a terrible job.
Something else will happen. It will, like, the right spot is going to pop up. And yeah, but it's hard because sometimes there's a long time between the right spots popping up.
Yeah. How long do you think you've gone? How long have you gone between booking something?
Oh my God. You know, honestly, right now, it's been like 4 months, like between booking something. I just booked something last week and I'm like, okay, thank God.
Yeah.
Because you're like, am I done? Is this over? But before that, it had been a long time. And I think I was trying to give myself grace too, because I just moved here. So basically we moved from LA, bought a house for the first time, like are trying to get settled. And I was like, I wonder if that is also coming through all of this stress and settling and placement. And I was like, well, maybe that's why it's been a really long time for you because, you know, you're doing something. I'm sure that can pop out, you know?
Yeah, I've told the story a few times to my listeners and my students. I almost quit twice in my career. But not similar. Here's a quick story. When I moved up to New York in 97, I was all guns blazing. You know, I'm like, gotta get an agent, gotta get a job. And I did get an agent and I got a job, which was great. And I was going out and I literally booked something like in the first month I was here.
I love that.
I know. So I booked a spot, 7 spots for, it used to be a shoe store that is no longer in existence called Kinney Shoes. And you can remember Kinney Shoes? Yeah. Okay. So I booked this spot because I'm very good at reading quickly. And I had to say running shoes, hiking shoes, biking shoes, walking shoes. I had to do all that. So whatever. They booked me based on that. Turned out to be 7 spots, 7 wild spots. So I started getting checks, you know, and you're like, hey, this is nice, you know, and I'm riding on this crest. And then it was 6 months of crickets. And I was like, what the heck happened? Maybe I'm not actually good at this. And at that point, I wasn't quitting, but then I went through some serious dry spells. And I remember saying to my ex-husband, I went in for an audition for an AT&T, so one of their branches for the Midwest Suncom Wireless. And I walked in the booth and they're like, oh, hey, you're number 50. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm just great. Thanks for bringing me in. You know, let me do the read. So we were going to a concert, driving to Jones Beach. I don't know if you know, Jones Beach is out here with concerts and stuff on Long Island. And I said, I think I'm going to quit. I said, I haven't booked anything and this is just getting too depressing. And he said, the right producer's going to hear you and then they're going to pass your name along. You just have to stick it out. So thank God for him in regards to that. Nothing else. But so slip that in real quick because I'm married to someone else now. So the next day, my agent's like, guess who got the Suncom account? And I'm like, what? And so then that got me working for a couple of years. And then it was like the energy from that, I think, helped.
Yes.
But, you know, I was at my wit's end and I don't know.
It's so hard. I mean, I feel like that's one of the reasons, too, that I like doing the on-camera stuff. I like doing the on-stage stuff with improv because you feel like you're always doing something and you're getting other stuff, even if it's not VO. And so to me, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm booking. And then I can take a step back and like realize, oh wait, I haven't done a VO gig in a while, but it doesn't feel that way to me.
Yeah, because you're still, putting creativity and booking in other ways.
Right. So you're like, yeah. And I feel like things ebb and flow. And we were at our agency party in January, and I was talking to another VO actor, and he was like, I was like, how long do you go? Like, what's normal for you?
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't even think about it anymore because my litmus test is, am I still having fun? Do I still like doing this?
Yeah.
And if so, right, I just keep doing it. And it doesn't matter if I book or not because I am enjoying my life, you know?
Not to be focused. Same thing. I don't think about when was the last time I booked with whomever or whatever.
Yeah.
I just figure the ebb and flow. But so for you, that's good advice to kind of get yourself involved in other things that you enjoy and do those things to try to.
So, yeah. And I remember when I first met my agent, Vince Labica, who is amazing, he said, he was like, do not put all your VO eggs in one basket. Do not make this your primary thing until you have to, because otherwise it's way too stressful. If you're waiting on this to make your next rent payment, you're going to be so stressed. It's going to come out in your auditions. Do other things. Have a full life that you can then bring into the booth, and that will make you not so fixated on.
That is great advice.
Mm-hmm. Right? I know. He's a very wise man.
It's so true. I think 2025, I did a lot, especially because I started a community in 2024 with all voice actors, and it's the Voiceover Gurus community. I always talk about it on the podcast. Sorry, people, you hear about it all the time. But I love these things. That kind of reignited my, spark in an interest in the voiceover business, because I truly got, and I'm very burned out on auditioning. You know, I have a few I have to do today, and of course I'm going to do them and go for it. But it's just when you do it for so long, and it has nothing to do with booking or not, because I've been fortunate enough to book. It's just the process, that constant process. Let's break down the copy. What are they looking for? Should I read it like that? It's something that becomes the journey, and which is why the community is fun, because everybody kind of supports each other, because God knows we need it.
Yes.
But that helped reignite me a bit, because now I see other people and I'm like, oh my God, I remember when I got my first job and how I felt. And that's how I've reignited my spark,
I love that. And it is so helpful to talk to other voice actors about, what do you go through? What do you do? And feel like you're not alone in there, because it is very isolating. And so to be able to have that community is so beautiful. I really love that.
Yeah, it's turned out to be a really good thing. So now your day consists of what's the ratio of auditions for you? You're doing on camera, you're doing VO, you're doing, are you still getting out there and doing live improv, or?
I am.
Are you?
I am. Yeah. So I'm doing a bunch of UCB stuff, and then I also like clowning. So
tell me about clowning.
Oh, it's so fun. I cannot recommend it enough to everyone, to literally everyone I know. I feel like I'm like, have you heard about clowning? Have you heard the good news about clowning? It's amazing because it's so physical and it's so silly. And I feel like it's so much about failure, where the whole thing about being a clown is you're the fool and you celebrate when you fail. And so the bigger you can fail on stage, the funnier it is. And the more you celebrate that failure, the more the audience roots for you.
Wow.
And isn't that like such an amazing life lesson?
Never would look at a clown with that perspective, but it's so true.
Right. Like the slip on the banana peel, I know, it's all about how are you failing in the most human, honest way, and then celebrating that.
That's really
so, isn't that so amazing?
Yeah, I really like that. So did you go to a school for it? Obviously you learned how to...
First I was in LA clown school, which I can't recommend enough. And now I'm at the Pandemonium Theater in New York. And one of the things that we did is that you kind of do is you find your inner clown. So what makes you a huge doofus?
That though, you're talking about like soul searching, or what's happening here?
Kind of like it. For us, you sort of started out by saying, what's something I'm really ashamed of, or something that I think is a huge failure in myself that I like to try and hide from other people. And then you make a whole clown persona based on that one character flaw. And you blow it up and show it off to everyone and own it. And then it becomes funny and it becomes something that isn't really shameful anymore,
Talk about vulnerability, though. I mean,
Yes.
how do you get around that? Because that's the biggest hurdle.
Yeah. No. I mean,
if you're looking for, like you said, you got to find whatever it is in your life that you've, failed. I hear your.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Okay, it doesn't
Yeah. One of the things I love about this house is that there's a forest behind, but we've had so many windstorms and I've been kind of nervous about a tree just but today is the day, apparently. They are chopping down some of the tops of those trees.
I don't mind. This is a very relaxed podcast. It's just kind of funny. I thought I'd mention it because you said, I didn't hear it before.
You hear it.
Yeah. Now I can hear, but that's fine.
There it is. That's our soundtrack.
Yeah. So the vulnerability aspect, I mean, how long did it take for you to develop that, accept it, develop it into the performance and move forward?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a lifelong process.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm still definitely in it. I think one of my favorite clowns that I've come up with is like the bad mother clown. So to me, I feel like trying to have this career where you kind of have to be all in and be really passionate about what you do and trying to be a good mom. Of course, you can't have it all. So one of my biggest vulnerabilities and insecurities is like, am I being a bad mom? Am I, giving them a good enough life and good enough attention? And so this clown, like she comes out, she's in a robe, her makeup's all undone, she's got like ladles falling out of her pockets and book bags, and she's trying to cook something on the stove, then the stove catches fire, then the baby's crying, she like gets frustrated, kicks the baby out the window, and it's like a whole funny routine where you're just kind of making fun of this
wow,
overwhelmed mom. Yeah. And I think that's it. Like showing it off to people and laughing about it has made me be like, of course, no one has it all. Like you're always trying to balance this stuff. And now I feel tenderness towards that mom. And to bring it back to VO, like that is a character that I've infused into a lot of my auditions. There's so many mom characters who are overwhelmed and it's like, well, go get this product and it makes things a little better for you. And bringing the funny to that, I think is unexpected and delightful,
That's interesting. So like, let's say you got an audition where they were asking for the mom type. How would you use that vulnerability that you created in clown school to help you prepare for the audition?
Right. Well, oftentimes I'll do normally I feel like they do want to see a straight take where it's like you are like a normal, everyday, friendly mom next door, And so I'll give the one of that. And then I'll do one where it's funny and it's unexpected and she's anxious and she's yelling at her kid and then getting back to the VO. And then, she'll make a little joke about how she's overwhelmed in the middle of the copy. And there's a great opportunity if you ever audition for Sound and Fury casting. Tina Marasco will meet with you. You can have a one-on-one with her where she'll pull some of your previous auditions and she'll go through them with you.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And she'll be like, this is what I loved about it. This is what I think you can work on. This is a theme coming out in your work. And I was able to do that with her. And one of the things that I heard back about was like, this is so funny. Like, I love when I get these improv auditions and you think it's just a normal whatever. And then you hear something funny and unique that's just you, that makes me laugh in the middle of it. And so,
well, you're getting positive reinforcement on it too. So obviously you're doing something right.
Right. And again, it's like, it makes it enjoyable for myself. So I don't get bored of doing this.
Yes, this is very insightful. I know that students and listeners are going to gain a lot from that because a lot of the things you've touched on are things that have been chatted about, questioning, in the day to day. But it's incredible. So what's on your agenda for the rest of today?
The rest of today, so I have an on-camera audition, so I will do that. And
your hair looks really nice.
Oh my gosh, I did it. I mean, for you, but also I'm like, right after this, I'm going up to my self-tape studio and hoping that the tree sound is not too loud.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll do that. And then my husband, we kind of switch back and forth on who's around for the kids. He works remotely for the most part, but today he's in the city. So then I'm on mom duty. Like I'm picking up the kids, making dinner, doing the whole thing. And then when they go to sleep, I'll probably do my VO auditions.
There you go. At least the weather's decent for us right now, you know?
Oh my goodness. Thank goodness.
It's cold, but it's sunny.
I gotta say, leaving LA, coming into this winter, coming in hot.
Yes. Yep.
This was quite the introduction.
Yeah, this isn't normal. Honestly, the amount of snow isn't normal, but you know, it's always chilly. March is always a tough month too. That's usually when we plan to go to Jamaica and stuff, just to get out of here because
that's so nice.
I know we're not going this year, unfortunately, but yeah, you get that. I know in LA, everything's nice in LA, right?
So nice. It's so nice. That's why I'm like, I'm a bi-coastal actor because any chance I can get to fly back to LA, I'm like, yeah, no, 100%.
That's cool. And that really opens up your opportunities too.
Yeah. And it's fun because like we still have places to stay out there, friends. Like we were out there for, I think, 5 years. And so I was able to establish enough of a community and reps out there that I can go back and forth. But I think it's becoming more and more common now. I meet so many actors who do, I mean, not even just both coasts, but all over the place, which is amazing.
Well, you want to increase your opportunities as much as you can and get people to hear you as often as possible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So do you have a separate New York and LA agent, or are they one and the same?
Not right now. So right now I just have my LA agents and I'm sticking with them. I feel like I've finally gotten to the point where I'm settled in enough here that I'm like, okay, the house is not a complete disaster. We've unpacked every box. My children are in school and they're okay. Then I'm like, all right, time to like get moving on some more agents. Like I said, it ebbs and flows. And I feel like this year especially has been about giving myself some grace, is to be like, I did have a New York agent before and I was like, we got to pause because sometimes there is too much. And I think that's another thing I want to say about the routine stuff is sometimes I do feel like you just need a break. And to be honest with yourself and be like, I am going to book this out and I'm going to go and I'm going to have a real vacation. And I'm actually going to step away. So helpful. And it's hard with VO because at least for myself, even when I'm, on set and I'm away, like I'm shooting in a production, I'll be like, well, I can always go in my car and I brought my equipment and I can just record it there. So I don't have to book out these dates. I can just work more. And
but, you don't get that downtime because your brain is still saying, is something coming in? Do I need to check my mail?
Exactly. And I feel like getting time away and just being present there and coming back sometimes is what you need.
I made not the mistake. It just was a career situation where I was the voice of a couple of networks. And so I was doing weekly sessions with them and I couldn't change my room and my microphone because everything was so dialed in because we used to use ISDN lines for that. And so it was like, I couldn't just be like, oh, do it from the hotel. Like one of my dreams was to rent an apartment in Paris for 2 weeks and work from there. So I'm a big, Paris lover.
I love that.
And so we got an apartment. It was my girlfriend came with me and we got an apartment. We were like a block and a half from the Seine. And so I was able to actually do a lot of my clients from there, from the studio, just the time shift. My day was shifted. Disney was even fine with me doing it from there because I worked for Disney Asia. And it was so cool because I was like, but of course I didn't leave work. I still did work.
Right.
So I think I've only taken one vacation, probably when I got married in Jamaica, that I didn't bring anything with me. And I said, well, let the chips fall where they may. I have to do something and unplug and like genuinely unplug.
Yes. Really leave it behind. But it's hard. And if you do have those ongoing clients, I mean, there are periods of time where you're like, we're going nowhere. Yeah. Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's like it's a fine exchange because you're like, okay, no, this is a client I've always wanted, I'm obviously getting money and it's fine to do it. It's just you start to realize at some points that, I don't know, I do shut down at like 6 p.m. unless we're teaching a class at night. I do. I mean, I try my hardest and I just say, I'll cut that for you in the morning. And people are usually pretty cool about it.
Yeah.
Just because it's like enough already.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. I feel like I don't know when I'm on, I'm just on. And like I'm bad about creating those boundaries if I'm not on vacation. You know what I mean? Like if I'm home and just like, I can still do that. It's fine.
That's the problem because of remote work too. It's so much easier. Well, I appreciate your time today, Elena. It was wonderful.
Thanks so much.
It's not Elena. It's Elena. What is it?
Elena, like antenna.
Antenna. I got to remember. I didn't remember that. I was so focused on our conversation. Elena, like antenna, Hollander.
Yes.
Your website is, tell us your website.
Yes. So it's very easy. It's www.elenahollander.com. So ElenaHollander.com.
It's nice. Yeah. Check out her website. But I do appreciate your time today. It was lovely meeting you.
You too. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Good luck with, let's hope we get through this winter quickly. Yeah. That's what we're praying for. That wraps up another episode of the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Thank you for joining me. Head on over to voiceover.guru or head to the community that I blab about all the time and join us for free so you can participate in our script read challenges. All right, everybody. See you next time. Thanks a lot.